How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying, what daf we studying today? Alright. Daf Kuf Yud Beis of Masechta. What should we get up to? Should we only get up to there? Alright. Fine. Alright, Daf Kuf Yud Beis. I feel like it's just like this one long, like, thingamajig. I don't know. So we're going to start in Kuf Yud. No, we're going to start in Kuf Yud Aleph Amud Beis, about 10 or so lines into the Amud. Kuf Yud Aleph Amud Beis, about 10 or so lines into the Amud at the two dots. Okay, so what are we up to? So we're up to now the next part is Va'ish es ishto v'chule. Menoni mili d'san rabban sheru zo ishto v'lam shabal yorish es ishto yochal afi tirashenu tamalomar. Okay, fine. So we're talking about now that the Mishnah had said that a husband inherits his wife. That if his wife passes away, so then the husband inherits her. But if he dies, she does not inherit him. Okay, so immediately, how do we know this? Titanu Rabbanon, the rabbis taught she'ero zo ishto. Then when it says she'ero, that means his wife. Lam chabal yorish es ishto. And we learn from that a husband inherits his wife. Yochel afi tirashenu. Is it possible that also she should inherit him? That if he dies, she inherits him? Tamalomar v'yorash oso. Says he inherits her. Hu yoresh oso. He inherits her. Vein he yoreshes oso. She does not inherit him. If you look at the pasuk, what does the pasuk say? I don't know, which pasuk is this? Beis. V'im'ein achim lo aviv unesatem nachlosu the sheiro akar of Elov. So you give it to the sheiro akar of Elov. So you give it to his wife, it sounds like. So, where am I? So Amar Abai says Abai to Itzachi, so explain the pasuk like this: V'nosatem es nachloso the kar of Elov she'ero v'yarash osa. Okay, so you give his inheritance to whoever is closest, and she'ero, and then you move her, you kind of switch around the words, and you say she'ero v'yarash osa, and he inherits his wife. Okay, so instead of v'nesatem es nachloso the she'ero kar of Elov, rather you say v'nesatem es nachloso the kar of Elov she'ero v'yarash osa. He kind of just moves around the words and stuff. Rava says sakino charifa mafsiko kroi. Rava says, wait, you're taking a sharp knife and you're cutting up the pasuk and reorganizing it. So Rava also reorganizes things, but in a different way. Essentially, he changes things, but differently. Elama Rava rather says Rava achikam, but this is what it's saying: v'nasatem es nachlas she'ero lo. Because over gorin u'mosifin v'darshin. That Rava holds gorin v'mosifin v'darshin. What does that mean? So, while Abai is kind of like moving around stuff and making changes and stuff, right? What does the pasuk say? The pasuk says, "V'nasatem slachloso l'sheiro kar v'elav." And here we have Abai makes it v'nasatem es nachloso l'karov. Okay, right. So it doesn't. So l'karov elav she'ero v'yarash osa. He's like moving around words, adding letters. He's like making. Abai is like making significant changes. Rava is basically moving around two letters. Right? It says, Gorin u'mosifin v'darshin. You can like take a letter and remove it from here and add it there. It's like you're not adding stuff, you're just kind of rearranging stuff in Rava's way. Right? So what he does is v'nasatem es. So instead of v'nasatem es nachloso l'sheiro akar v'elav, he says v'nasatem es nachalas instead of nachlaso. So you got a vav. He takes away the vav. So now you got a vav to work with. V'nasatem nachalas she'ero lo. Meaning, instead of nachalaso lishero, instead of nachalaso with a vav lishero with a lamed, he drops the vav from nachalaso and he drops the lamed from lishero, and then you get lamed vav, which is the word lo. So basically, v'nasatem es nachla shero lo. You give the inheritance of his wife to him. Okay, very, very nice. Good to be him. Because Rava says you could kind of remove and kind of move letters around. Take it away from here, add it to there, and have a good time. That the Torah has to be like a plaything that you play around with. You take a letter from here, you move it to over there, Givaldik. And the following Tana brings it from the following, from the following. The Tana is within BavaBasra. V'yorash Osa, and he inherits her. Melam Shabal Yorash Ishto to Rebbe Kiva. So Rebbe Kiva says V'yorash Osa teaches that he inherits her. Good. Mam Shagaval. Rabbi Shmuel Omer says Rabbi Shmuel Eino Tzorich. No, you don't learn it out from there. Already Omer the pasuk says by Bnos Tzlofchod it says V'chol Bas Yoreshes Nachala Mimatos Bnei Yisrael leEchad Mimishpachas V'Gomer Be'asevas Abal Lekosum Medaber. So the pasuk says by the Bnos Tzlofchod, I believe. That any daughter who inherits an inheritance from her father and mother, mimatos bnei Yisrael, from the tribes of Israel, le'echad mimishpachas v'gomer, and it says that she should keep it in the family, right? What does it say? So she should marry within the same tribe, right? Because if she's going to be inheriting her parents, well, then she should marry within the same tribe, because otherwise, if she marries outside of the tribe, well, then her inheritance is going to be delivered to her husband when she dies. So we see that her husband inherits her. Right? So she should, if she stands to inherit her parents, she should marry within her tribe. That way, if she dies and her husband inherits her, so then the property will stay within the tribe. So we see that a husband inherits his wife. The Omer and Oichit, the pasuk says, that we don't want inheritance, we don't want property, we don't want ancestral properties to be shifting to different tribes. Again, we want to say that's through the husband inheriting the wife. V'omer, and Orchit, the pasuk says, another pasuk says that ancestral lands should not be swapped between different tribes. My brain, I feel like is a shtickle not working 100%. It's not mush. It's just I feel like I need to eat epis. This is the third daf I'm recording today. It's a Monday. I don't usually record 3 daf, but again, I'm still like playing catch up from Rosh Hashanah. 3 days without recording. And these are actually quick dafs, I like quick dafs. Ve'omer, and additionally it says Ve'elazar ben Aharon meis, that Aharon's son Elazar died. Vayikbru also, where did they bury him? Begivas Pinchas beno, in the hill of Pinchas his son. Now, how could it be that this was a hill that belonged to Pinchas? If it belongs to Pinchas, doesn't that mean that it also belonged to Elazar? What does it mean? It's Pinchas is not Elazar's. And also Pinchas Isha. Well, Memele means that Pinchas got married, Umesa, and his wife died, V'yarsha, and he inherited her. So now he had this hill that belongs to him and not coming from his father. V'omer, and Oichit, a pasuk, Usguv, hold it as Yair. Sguv gave birth to Yair, Vayilo, and Yair had Esim v'shalosh arim, 23 cities, Beretz Gilad, in the land of Gilad. Yair, shlohaylo the Sguv. How does Yair have these 25 cities that didn't belong to his father, Skuv? Great name, Skuv. Melamed, very good name, Skuv. It's like one syllable, Skuv. That's a good name. Melamed, Shenosa Yair, Isha, so Memele, Yair got married, Umesa and his wife died, V'yarsha, and he inherited her, Azoy. So we see from these 5 psukim, from these 5 places, from these 5 mekoros, that a husband inherits his wife. Why did we need 5 mekoros? Why did we need 5 places to learn from? Isn't 1 enough? Well, because v'chitim, if you're going to say that actually the first pasuk when it says that if you have a daughter who's going to inherit, so then she should marry within the tribe. So we wanted to say, because otherwise, if she marries outside of the tribe, then if she dies, her husband will inherit her, and then it'll leave the tribe. But maybe that's not what it's talking about. Maybe it's not talking about that her husband is going to inherit her. Maybe her husband doesn't inherit her. Maybe her children are the ones who inherit her. And if the children come from a different tribe because she married out of the tribe, so then Memele, the ancestral property is going to be in the hands of a different tribe. So maybe it will leave the tribe not by her husband inheriting her, but by her children inheriting her. Ever thought of that? So again, if you're going to say B'sibas haben kakapid kura, if you're going to say that pasuk is talking about her son inheriting her, not her husband inheriting her. Aval Baal lo yaris, but her husband would not inherit. Well, Tashma, we have another pasuk. Vilotisov nachl v'nei yisrael mata el mata. Another pasuk says that, well, we don't want ancestral properties going to different tribes. So if the first pasuk is talking about the son inheriting her, so the second pasuk is talking about her husband inheriting her. Wait, but maybe you'll say that no, that's also talking about the son, and saying that if she marries outside of the tribe and her son inherits her, she will be in violation of both a positive commandment, as in the first pasuk, as well as a negative commandment, as in the second pasuk. Tashma velo tisov lo tisov nachlo mimate lamate acher. Well, we have a third pasuk that says that a third pasuk saying, don't, if you're going to inherit the ancestral properties, don't marry to another tribe. So, well, if the first two psukim are talking about the son, well, maybe the third pasuk is finally talking about the husband inheriting her. And if we can say, no, it's all talking about the son, and if she marries into another tribe and the son inherits her, there will be a violation of two negative commandments and one positive commandment. Well, Tashma. Well, we have a fourth makar, right? That Elazar died and he was buried in Pinchas's property. How did Pinchas inherit it? Through his wife. V'chi tema Elazar hu denosiv itza umeisa v'yarsa Pinchas. We say, no, wait, maybe that's also talking about through inheritance. What happened there maybe was that Elazar, Pinchas's father, got married and his wife died, and he did not inherit her, but Pinchas, right? Elazar didn't inherit her because a husband doesn't inherit his wife. Rather, a son inherits his mother, and that is how Pinchas had this property. Not because he inherited it from his wife, but he inherited it from his mother. Tashma Sguv Olides Yair v'Gomer. Well, then we have that final pasuk about Sguv, that his son Yair had these 23 cities. And if you're going to say, well, there also, you could say that it's not talking about Sguv, that Yair, who was Skuv's son, had these 23 properties because he got married and inherited his wife. No, maybe Skuv got married and his wife died, and Yair, the son, inherited his mother. So if you're going to say that that's also talking about the son inheriting, well, why do I need two psukim, both by Pinchas and Elazar as well as by Yair and Skuv, to teach me the same thing that it's taught? Why do I need the same thing twice? Were you a broken record? So therefore, at least Skuv is talking about that he inherited, Yair inherited his wife. Papa says that by, but why? Maybe really I will say to you, Baal lo Yaris, maybe I'll say to you that a husband does not inherit his wife. V'kroi b'sibas haben kiddushoninon. And all of the psukim are talking about the son inheriting his mother, not the husband inheriting his wife. V'yoir dezovin mizaben, and Yair purchased these cities, and Yair purchased these. Pasha purchased the cities. So how did Yair have these cities? He purchased them. Upinchas name dezovin mizaben, and maybe Pinchas oichet purchased that hill that he buried his father on. So Omerle, so I guess Abai says to Rapape, Pinchas dezav mizabin lo matzis Omer. No, you can't say that Pinchas bought that hill Because the imkain, if so, nimtzei sadeh chozer is beyovel. Because if Pinchas bought the hill, then it comes yovel and it goes back to its original owner. V'nimtzei tzadeh kav b'kever she'eino shelo, which means that his father Elazar is now buried in a grave that doesn't actually, is now being given back at yovel, and it's like a temporary kind of grave. So ela ima dinafla le mistei chromim. Okay, but still, even by Elazar, even by Pinchas, you could say that the way that he got it was somebody donated a property to the Beis Hamikdash, to the Kohanim, and he got it. So Mabai so uzel. Okay, fine. Okay, Givaldig. All right. It sounds like it wasn't. I feel like we. Okay, fine. Yeah, it sounds like we're not really answering that question about how do we know for sure. Like it could be that the two psukim by Yair and Pinchas could actually be talking about different methods. Okay, so meaning in that we don't necessarily know that the husband inherits the wife, but I think we don't pursue that further. Okay, now what's this next thing talking about? Amar by sof akam is akra nachla mishivta de'ima the shivta de'aba. Okay, so this is going. I think this is going back to the scenario where like she marries. Wait 1 second. Right. Okay. So what we're talking about here is that so if you have a woman who stands to inherit her parents, and her parents are from different tribes, right? Her father is from Reuven and her mother is from Shevet Shimon, and she stands to inherit her. So we say that so then she has to marry somebody in her father's tribe. But how does marrying somebody in her father's tribe solve anything? Because Amar Abai says Abai sof at the end of the day, the shifta de Abba. Because if her mother is from Shimon and she inherits both her father and her mother, and then she, let's say, gets married, and then she dies, and then the property is either going to go to her husband or it's going to go to her son. And now it's all going to be in Reuven. So mimai dumashani yosem shekvar husva. Okay, I don't really understand this fully, but maybe it's different because in that case, it's considered, I guess, when she inherited her mother, it's already, and her father's from Reuven, her mother's from Shimon, it's like, she's not the one who's like uprooting anything, it's already been essentially uprooted. So, shekvar huzva lo aminun. So, or what's the gosabach? Vidilma, shekvar huzva lo aminun, but maybe we don't consider it like it's already been kind of moved. Okay, so Omar le Rav Yemer le Rav Ashi, says Rav Yemer to Rav Ashi, Omar b'shlama shekvar huzva. So I understand if we say that it is considered like the property is kind of already shifted tribes. Hanu de mesuk makra ben b'siba sabein ben b'siba sabal. Well, then we could say, okay, well, if it's already considered like the property is like already transferred somewhat, so then we could say, okay, then she gets married to somebody in Shevet Reuven. And when she dies, either her husband inherits her or her son inherits her. But if we don't say that it's considered like it's already been transferred somewhat, well then who cares if she marries somebody in Shevet Reuven? My Hava. What does that accomplish? When she then gets married to somebody in Reuven and she dies, and her husband or her son inherits her, so then all of her inheritance is now going to be in Shevet Reuven, not Shevet Shimon. Well, she marries somebody like her. She marries somebody whose father is from Reuven and his mother is from Shimon, just like her. If that's the case, well then it shouldn't say in the pasuk that she needs to marry it should say Echad mishpachas matevia ve'ima. So if it said like this, well, if that was the case, then I might think it could also be the other way around. Somebody who's father was from his mother's tribe and his mother was from his father's tribe or something. So we say, no, Mishpachas Avia Kilu, to say that, no, the father needs to be the same tribe as the father and the mother needs to be the same tribe as the mother. Alright, that was Daf Kuf Yud Beis, Masechta BavaBasra. Peace out.